Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something that too many of us overlook: the light within. You know, most of us go through life thinking we need to find something out there to make us whole. We believe success, happiness, love, and purpose are all things we've got to chase like they're hiding around some corner. But the truth is, what you're chasing has been sitting inside you all along. You were born with light. It's not something you earn. It's not something someone gives you. It's already yours. The problem is, life has a way of making you forget. From the moment we're little, we start picking up these little lies. You're not smart enough, you're not talented enough, you don't have what it takes. And little by little, that light gets covered up, not gone, just buried. See your light as your potential. It's your gifts, it's the dreams you have that you don't even tell people about because you're afraid they'll laugh. It's that pull in your gut when you know you're made for more. That's not a coincidence. That's the truth trying to break through. But you've got to believe it's there in order to unlock it. You've got to dig through the noise, the pain, the self-doubt, and recognize that you already have everything you need to get started. Most people never even stop long enough to look inward. We're so busy chasing validation, scrolling for approval, running ourselves ragged trying to live up to expectations that don't even belong to us. But let me tell you something. Your light doesn't need lights, doesn't need lights. Your purpose doesn't need permission. You've just got to trust it's real. Think about a light bulb. It don't shine just because it's built to. It shines because it's connected to power. And you, my friend, have power. But you've got to plug in. You've got to connect to your source. Whether that's your faith, your calling, your values, or your truth. That's when the light turns on. Now here's the real talk. Just because the light's in you doesn't mean it's always going to be easy to access. Life's gonna hit you. It's gonna test you. It's gonna make you question if that light is even still on. But the beautiful thing is, even when it feels dim, even when you're tired, scared, or stuck, the light never leaves you. You might lose sight of it, but it never loses sight of you. So instead of constantly searching outside of yourself for answers, for approval, for direction, take a minute to be still. Listen, reflect. Ask yourself what lights you up. What makes your soul come alive? What impact you want to have on this world? That's how you begin to see the light within. And once you recognize it, once you know it's real, then you can begin the real journey. Because you can't chase the light until you know where it starts. And it starts with you. Always has, always will. So the next time someone tells you you're not enough, you look them in the eye and say, I already am. Because the light, it's been there all along. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real. Chasing light isn't just about good vibes and sunshine days. It's not all clarity and confidence. If you're truly on the journey to becoming your best self, you're going to have to walk through some darkness. That's just part of it. The problem is, we've been taught to fear the dark. We treat pain, failure, and doubt like they're signs we're doing something wrong. But what if I told you they're proof you're on the right path? See, every person who's ever accomplished anything meaningful, they've been through some storms, they've doubted themselves, they've failed. They've been told a no, been overlooked, underestimated, counted out. But the difference is they didn't let that be the end of their story. They walked through it, and they learned from it. Because that darkness, that's where the real growth happens. Think about it like this. Seeds don't grow in the sunlight alone. They grow underground first in the dirt, in the dark, where it's quiet, where nobody sees what's happening. But that pressure, that struggle, that's what makes something strong enough to break through the surface. It's no different with you. You're going to have moments when it feels like nothing's working. Moments when you question your worth, your path, your ability. You'll ask yourself, why isn't it happening for me? But the truth is, it is happening, just not always in the way you expected. Sometimes life delays us so we can develop. It holds us back so we can build the character we need to carry the calling we've been given. Doubt on its own isn't your enemy. It's a signal. It shows up when you're stepping into something bigger than you've ever done before. And that's okay. Doubt just means you're human. But what matters is how you respond to it. Do you let it stop you, or do you push forward anyway? Some of you have been standing still because of fear. Fear of failing. Fear of what people will say. Fear of not being good enough. But fear is just imagination. It's made up. What's real is your ability to take one more step, to keep showing up even if you're scared, even if your voice shakes, even if you're the only one who believes in the vision. Let me be clear. Darkness doesn't mean you're lost. It doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're being refined. And when you learn to keep walking even when the road isn't lit, you build something stronger than confidence. You build resilience. You build faith. You build a mindset that can't be shaken by temporary circumstances. And listen, everybody's got some darkness. Don't be fooled by people's highlight reels. Behind every smile you see is a story. Behind every success is a struggle. So if you're in a low place right now, I want you to know you're not alone and you're not done. The light is still ahead, but you've got to go through the tunnel to reach it. You don't have to have all the answers today. You don't have to see the whole path. You just have to take the next step in faith. Trust that even in your uncertainty, you are still moving forward. Because growth happens in the dark. Strength is built in the silent seasons, and light shines brightest after the darkest night. So keep going, keep believing, keep showing up. The version of you that you're becoming, they're waiting for you on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're chasing light, if you're on a journey to becoming your best self, then there's one thing you absolutely cannot afford to ignore. Vision. And I'm not talking about eyesight. I'm talking about insight. I'm talking about the ability to see with your spirit what your eyes can't see yet. The ability to look at your current situation and still picture something greater. That's vision. And that vision must be rooted in something bigger than just success. It has to be anchored in purpose. Vision is your direction. It's your map when the road is unfamiliar. It's what keeps you moving when motivation disappears. And let me be real with you. You can have talent. You can have resources. You can even have support. But if you don't have a clear vision for your life, you'll drift. You'll chase everything and catch nothing. You'll end up busy but not effective, tired but not fulfilled. That's the danger of living without vision. You become reactive instead of intentional. See, purpose gives your vision power. It gives it roots. It's the why behind the what. Anybody can make money. Anybody can chase goals. But if what you're doing isn't tied to something meaningful, something that matters to you at your core, then eventually you'll burn out. But when your work, your grind, your goals are connected to your purpose, you get up differently. You move with energy, you endure the hard days because you know it's leading somewhere that matters. But here's the thing, most people never take time to define their vision. They're waiting for someone else to tell them what they should do, where they should go, how they should live. And let me tell you, if you don't have your own vision, you'll end up living someone else's. You've got to take ownership of your life. Sit down. Get still. Ask yourself the hard questions. What do I truly want? What lights me up? What kind of impact do I want to leave behind? It's not selfish to dream. It's necessary because your dream isn't just for you. Somebody's breakthrough is connected to your obedience. Somebody's healing, somebody's hope. It's tied to you stepping into your purpose boldly and unapologetically. Your vision will not only elevate your life, it'll lift others too. Now listen. Just because you have a vision doesn't mean everything's gonna be easy. In fact, sometimes the moment you decide to pursue purpose, life gets harder. Distractions show up. People doubt you. Doors close. But that's when you dig deep and hold on to what you saw. Because when it gets tough, your vision will be the thing that reminds you why you started. It's the thing that whispers to keep going when everything in you wants to quit. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Keep it in front of you. Because life will try to blur your vision with fear, with failure, with frustration. But if you've locked into your purpose, really locked in, then no matter what comes, you won't be shaken. So let me ask you today, what is your vision? Not just where you want to be next year, but who you want to become. What legacy do you want to build? What kind of light do you want to leave in this world? Don't wait for the perfect moment to figure it out. The perfect moment is now. Because the people who live with power, peace, and joy, they aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who had a vision and refused to let go of it. That's the power of vision and purpose, and that power, my friend, is already inside you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have an honest conversation today. Because this is where a lot of people get stuck on the journey to becoming their best self. Everybody wants the results. Everybody wants the glow, the breakthrough, the success. But not everybody wants the grind. Not everybody wants the structure. Not everybody wants the discipline. They're waiting on motivation when what they need is discipline. Now don't get me wrong, motivation is great. It feels good. It can light a fire under you for a moment, but that fire burns out fast. Motivation is emotional, it's inconsistent. It shows up when the mood is right, when you've had enough sleep, when the sun's shining. But discipline shows up no matter what. Discipline is the part of you that gets out of bed even when you're tired. It's the voice that says, I don't feel like it, but I'm doing it anyway. If you only move when you feel like it, you're never going to move far. Because feelings come and go. But purpose stays the same. Discipline is what keeps you aligned with your purpose when your feelings are all over the place. You don't need to be more motivated. You need to become more consistent. That's what separates people who talk about success from the people who actually live it. Because here's the truth. Discipline is what builds habits, and habits are what shape your future. It's the small daily choices that nobody sees that determine whether or not you're going to make it. Think about it. The athlete doesn't train when they feel like it. The author doesn't write only when they're inspired. The entrepreneur doesn't build their business on a maybe tomorrow. No, they've built a mindset that doesn't depend on emotion. They've made a commitment to the process, not just the outcome. And that's what you've got to do. Some of you are looking at people you admire and thinking they've got more talent than you, more opportunity, more luck. What are you watching, listening to, scrolling through? Because that's your environment too. If your feed is full of drama, comparison, and negativity, don't be surprised when your thoughts start to match that energy. So I challenge you to do an audit. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Ask yourself, do they inspire me? Do they challenge me? Do they believe in me? And more importantly, do they reflect the kind of person I'm trying to become? If the answer is no, it's time to make some shifts. You weren't meant to walk this journey alone, but you also weren't meant to carry everyone with you. It's okay to grow apart from people who aren't growing. It's okay to say no to conversations that go nowhere. You're not being mean. You're being focused. You're protecting your light. Because the truth is, when you start surrounding yourself with light, with people, thoughts, and habits that align with your purpose, you don't just chase your best self. You begin to become it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get real. Everybody loves the outcome. Everybody loves the highlight, the win, the applause, the promotion, the graduation, the transformation. But what most people try to skip over, what most people avoid or complain about, is the process. And here's the truth you've got to understand if you're serious about chasing the light and becoming your best self. The outcome is the reward, but the process is where you're built. It's easy to get excited about the dream, but what's going to determine whether or not you actually reach it is how you show up in the in-between. The early mornings, the late nights, the disappointments, the quiet seasons where no one's watching. That's where your character is developed. That's where your endurance is tested. That's where your mindset is refined. We live in a world that glorifies instant results. We want the quick fix. We want overnight success. But anything that lasts, anything that's real, anything that's powerful, it takes time, it takes commitment. It takes the kind of patience and faith that says, even if it doesn't happen today, I'm going to show up anyway. The process will teach you what the outcome never could. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you humility. It teaches you gratitude. Because once you've worked for something, really worked for it, you don't take it for granted. You appreciate the grind. You carry yourself differently because you know what it costs you to get there. But here's the problem. Too many people quit in the middle. They start strong, but when the results don't come fast enough, they lose focus. When the journey gets uncomfortable, they think maybe it wasn't meant to be. But listen to me. Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's wrong. Just because it's slow doesn't mean it's failing. Sometimes the process is the preparation. It's shaping you into someone who's strong enough, wise enough, and ready enough to handle the outcome when it comes. The truth is, if you're only focused on the destination, you'll miss everything beautiful and powerful about the journey. You'll miss the lessons, you'll miss the personal breakthroughs, you'll miss the small wins that are actually the stepping stones to the big ones. And let me tell you something else. The process is where most people give up, but it's also where greatness is formed. Nobody claps for the process, but the process is what makes the success real. So instead of hating the hard part, learn to lean into it. Instead of rushing through it, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How am I growing right now? Because every challenge, every delay, every obstacle, it's not just in the way, it is the way. You've got to fall in love with the work, the practice, the repetition, The behind-the-scenes effort that nobody sees, that's the real secret. The most powerful people you admire didn't just have a dream. They had the grit to keep going when it didn't look like it was working. So I want to encourage you today, don't resent the process. Respect it. Honor it. Trust it. Because while the world claps for outcomes, life rewards the ones who stay faithful in the middle. You're not just chasing a result, you're building a life. And the process, messy, quiet, difficult as it may be, is sacred. It's making you, it's preparing you. And one day when you arrive at that dream you've been working for, you'll look back and realize the process was the real prize all along. Ladies and gentlemen, this final step in your journey to becoming your best self may just be the most important one. Because once you've found your light, once you've battled through the darkness, built discipline, locked into your purpose, and grown through the process, the journey doesn't end with you. It expands through you. You don't just chase the light, you become it for someone else. Let's be clear, your growth was never just for your own gain. Your breakthrough was never meant to be kept a secret. The pain you overcame, the lessons you learned, the wisdom you've gained, they're not just trophies for your shelf. They're tools, they're torches. They're meant to be passed on, handed down, used to illuminate the path for someone who's still trying to find their way. You don't have to be perfect to be a light. You don't need a platform, a title, or a spotlight. All you need is a heart that remembers what it felt like to struggle, and a willingness to help someone else rise. Sometimes being the light for others isn't about giving advice. It's about giving presence. It's about being the person who says, I see you, I've been there, keep going. You're not alone. Every day you have the power to inspire simply by how you live, how you carry yourself, how you treat people. Whether you lift others with your words or tear them down, whether you walk into a room and add energy or drain it, whether you lead with compassion or judgment. Being a light is a choice, one you make with every action, every word, every interaction. And here's the beautiful thing. When you become the light for someone else, your own light doesn't dim, it gets brighter. There is no shortage of light in this world, only a shortage of people willing to shine it. Your encouragement could be the reason someone doesn't quit. Your story could be the roadmap someone needs. Your resilience might just give someone else permission to start over. Think about that. Your life when lived with purpose and love becomes a ripple effect. You may never know how far it reaches, but that doesn't mean it's not working. The light you give away may circle back to you in ways you never expected. Because when you invest in others, life finds a way of investing back in you, Keist. But this also means responsibility. It means being mindful of your influence, especially when people are watching you and you don't even know it. Someone is studying how you get back up. Someone is watching how you handle pressure. Someone is looking at your courage and thinking, if they can do it, maybe I can too. So don't hide your light. Don't play small. Don't let fear or insecurity convince you that your story doesn't matter. It does. You were never meant to just survive this life. You were meant to shine in it and to help others do the same. That's legacy. That's purpose in action. That's what it means to live a life that matters. So as you keep chasing your best self, remember, you're not just doing it for you. You're doing it for every soul your light will ever touch. And there's no greater reward than that.